You're listening to Eagle 102, KJFM.
The Pleasant Hill Fire Protection District Ladies Auxiliary is hosting bingo night at the Pleasant Hill Fire Department on Saturday, October 14th. Doors open at 5 with games starting at 6. Sloppy Joes, chips, and soda will be available for $7. That's a
5. KJFM Radio, Eagle 102. Area high school softball is on the air. Every week, Eagle 102 brings you the best of area high school sports. On air at 102.1, online at kjfmradio.com, and on the KJFM Radio app. Now to the diamond for high school softball on your area sports leader, KJFM Radio.
Good afternoon from Wallace Memorial Park. Maddie Ingram, Jim Rawson with you this afternoon on Eagle 102, and we have a pretty good softball match headed your way. It'll be the Louisiana Lady Bulldogs welcoming and the Elsberry Lady Indians. They've already played each other once this season. That wasn't tournament play, was a one-run ball game. Last year, we think back to a couple of one-run ball games as well. So it should be a pretty good game today, Jim.
Elsberry's had the upper hand in this series for quite a while, and we'll get to that in the pregame.
We'll talk about all this in the pregame show next on Eagle 102.
Your customer People's Bank and Trust. With our mobile and online banking service, you can now bank from anywhere. Deposit checks, pay bills, transfer funds between accounts, check the latest activity on your account, and view images of your check, all from the convenience of your desktop and smartphone. So start banking on your schedule and download the People's Bank and Trust app today. People's Bank and Trust, hometown banking the way it should be. Member FDIC.
This is Tracy Brookser with Pike County Health Department Home Health and Hospice. Our agency is currently looking to hire multiple positions: RNs, LPNs, CNAs, physical therapist assistants, and breastfeeding care counselor, all from full-time to part-time to contracted. Please visit our website at www.pikecountyhealth.org for more information and to apply online.
Pike County Title Company has been serving Pike County, Missouri and the surrounding area with a proud tradition of excellence since 1893, providing outstanding service and a smooth real estate transaction, and now with 2 locations, Bowling Green off Church Street and now in Louisiana off 4th Street. Pike County Title Company. Follow area high school sports throughout the season on Eagle 102, brought to you by Veolia Landscape Supply, Royal Paints, and a Taste of Philly.
Eagle 102 pregame show. Maddie, Jim Rawson with you this afternoon. And Jim, this is shaping up to be a good game. We're going to have some packed stands, and I think that this game is one of the bigger ones in the EMO conference today.
Yeah, there's conference implications for sure, but as I teased you with, Elsberry's won 9 of the last 10 and 5 in a row in this series. So the last time Louisiana won was in 2019. So the Bulldogs at home now would like to avenge the loss, as you mentioned. It was in the championship game of the Elsberry tournament, about a week ago or so.
Yeah.
6-5 was the score of that game, and Louisiana's kind of had an up and down season, but they've been on a little bit of a run, a 3-game winning streak so far. Their last win was against Clopton Tuesday night, 4-3 in a close game. And of course, Elsberry's been good for quite a few years. They made it to the district championship game and went further several years. As of late, their last game was against Palmyra. They won that game 5-4. They've won 3 of their last 4. So both teams coming in, even though kind of up and down seasons. Elsberry 7-3-1. They had a tie in a time limit game in the tournament. Louisiana at 8-5. So 2 of the better teams in the EMO conference this year. And, yeah, we expect to see a good ball game.
And one of the things that I talked about with Levi Yasna just last week was they're winning ball games, but they're still trying to find their footing. It's maybe not as clean as he would like it, but I don't think any coach is really in that position where you don't want to be playing your best ball right now. You want to be playing your best ball in just a couple of weeks, so trying to work out some of those kinks. And so they're still doing their job and getting things done.
lost a couple good seniors last year, but they've got a number of juniors at play. This year, no seniors on the team on the roster at all, so they're loaded for bear come next year as well. But yeah, you're right. They're still maybe trying to find their way and identify their roles in the lineup. And of course, in the games that we've seen, they really haven't hit the ball very well up and down the lineup. That's been their challenge. Louisiana, on the other hand, like I said, they've been hot and cold. They've got a lot of speed at the top of the lineup. Generally, they play good defense. And if they can put the ball in play, they can cause you problems as well.
We'll come back with our keys to the game next on Eagle 102.
Game of the Week coverage with Eagle 102 Sports, brought to you by Allpark, Eagles Nest Inn, Bed and Breakfast, and Sun Window Company.
It's a great time to buy or sell a home. I'm Vicky Cadwalder, and I know that process so smoothly from beginning to end. Even after closing, consider your every senior living facility at Lynn. Project around Pike County. As a resident, you can enjoy the same independent lifestyle you've always enjoyed, but with the peace of mind knowing that help is available when needed. For more information, visit Lynn's Heritage House, 800 Kelly Lane in Louisiana, or online at lynsheritage.com. Your cars, your stuff, your savings. Combine your auto and renter's insurance with a call to State Farm Insurance agent Cindy Blaylock in Louisiana. And let Cindy show you how to put life back in your life insurance. Auto, home, and life. Make your wallet happy. Here to help life go right, State Farm Insurance agent Cindy Blaylock in Louisiana.
Bowling Green Tractor wants to change the way you think about yard work with their Ego 56-volt ARC battery-powered lawnmowers, weed eaters, blowers, trimmers, and chainsaws. At Bowling Green Tractor, you can walk in and see for yourself just how easy these products are to handle. Bowling Green Tractor, your home for Ego. Power beyond belief.
Another sports season is upon us, and Knight Equipment in Bowling Green would like to wish the best of luck to all on and off the field, serving Bowling Green and the surrounding areas since 1945.
The area's best coverage of high school sports on Eagle 102, brought to you by Pike County Health Department, People's Savings Bank, and Allpark. Time now for the Eagle 102 Keys to the Game on KJFM, sponsored by Vicky Cadwalder Real Estate in Louisiana.
She touched on a few of our keys to the game, but we had the opportunity to catch up with head coach Kelsey Calvin for the Louisiana Bulldogs before today's big match, and she'll help us with some of those as well. So capitalizing on those little things is the big message from head coach Kelsey Calvin, and I think that goes for any team that's playing in the EMO conference, but specifically today because I think Louisiana has seen a few games kind of slip away from them just because of those little mistakes.
Well, you've got two sophomores in the circle today too, so young kids playing in big situations. We'll see how they perform. Last we saw Kenzie Koch was against Clopton, and she had control issues. However, she's got strikeout stuff. She's got really good stuff. She struck out 13 in that game. And Maddie Chandler, by the same token, came in against Silex and had a little bit of a rough go, but then the next week was very good. So you got to throw strikes. You know, you got to make sure you don't give them the extra outs, and you got to be clean on the infield, and the team that does that the most will win this softball game.
Should be a good game. We'll come back with our starting lineups next because they are meeting at home plate, so looks like we may have an early start to this ball game. So we'll be back with your starting lineups next on Eagle 102.
Community State Bank in Bowling Green and Troy, your community bank since 1887, member FDIC. I'm Kylie Mills, the CEO of Pike County Memorial Hospital. You've heard it from your friends, family, and even neighbors. They choose Pike County Memorial Hospital. Quality care from quality people. Pike County Memorial Hospital.
Pepsi-Cola Bottling Company is a proud sponsor of the local schools and their athletes. When it's time to quench that thirst, reach for one of the many Pepsi products found in the local concession stand, including Pepsi, Mountain Dew, Sundrop, or the all-new Starry Lemon Lime. If you are wanting something other than soda, enjoy Bubbler, Sparkling Water, Lipton Tea, Gatorade, and more. Pepsi-Cola Bottling Company in New Haven and Bowling Green wishes all the area athletes a great season.
On your way to cheer on your local teams, make Wood Smoked Meats your first stop to stock up on all your favorites. Pork burgers, brats, steaks, and more. Wood Smoked Meats, Business Highway 54 West in Bowling Green.
As many as 50% of people don't take their medication as prescribed. Missing or not taking medication can be deadly. For questions about medication, at 8 North Court in Bowling Green.
Area high school sports on Eagle 102, brought to you by Rick and Central State Bank of Illinois. Eagle 102 Sunday.
Ready to do the starting lineups here at Wallace Memorial Park. Maddie Ingram, Jim Rawson with you this afternoon for some EMO Conference softball. Let's go ahead and run down the Elsberry Lady Indians starting lineup. Leading off, it'll be the pitcher, Kinsey Koch, followed by Maya Plaster, the shortstop. Number 2, Katie Talbot will be batting third. Ashlyn Javot, the first baseman, is batting cleanup. Batting fifth today and playing center field, Anna Talbot. Bentley Letson is batting sixth, followed by Jillian Reller in the 7th spot. She'll be playing third base. Mackenzie Burke is at second base and batting eighth. Rounding out the lineup for the Elsberry Lady Indians, it'll be Kelsey Chigola. She's your designated player playing left field for Elsberry. It is Savasia Hardwick. So it goes Koch, Plaster, Talbot, Javot, Talbot, Letson, Reller, Burke, and Chigola for Elsberry. We'll go ahead and do a rundown of the Louisiana Lady Bulldogs. Leading off, it'll be Jalea Reese. She'll be playing center field today, followed by Katie Wallace, and she'll be playing shortstop, so that's a little bit of a flip that we'll talk when they take the field. Tessa DePriest is at first base and batting third. Batting fourth, it's the pitcher, Maddie Chandler, followed by Emily Powell in right field. Allie Jenkins is wearing number 17, playing third base and batting sixth today. Batting seventh, it's Reese Womack. She'll be your designated player. Batting eighth and playing second base, Jordan Bayline. And then rounding out the lineup for the Louisiana Lady Bulldogs, it's Ty Campbell. She'll be playing left field. So it goes Reese, Wallace, DePriest, Chandler, Powell, Jenkins, Womack, Bayline, Campbell, and then your catcher today for Louisiana is Jordan Pedersen. So should be a pretty good matchup. They're introducing the Louisiana Lady Bulldogs currently. We'll have the national anthem headed your way, and then we'll be back with first pitch on Eagle 102.
School District 5 cents. That may not sound like a lot of money, but since starting this program 6 years ago, TSC has been able to give back over $120,000. Open an account online. Blue Root. Start earning the Bowling Green School District money today just by using your debit card. Member FDIC.
Wrapping up with the national anthem, we have area high school softball in the air this afternoon. The Louisiana Lady Bulldogs welcome in the Elsberry Lady Indians. So getting some warm-up tosses in. We'll go ahead and set the defense. Would you like to do that, Jim, for us?
Sure. From left to right in the outfield, Campbell, Reese, and Pike for the Bulldogs. On the infield at third, Jenkins. Short, Wallace. Second base, Bayline. First, DePriest. Behind the plate is Pedersen. On the hill is Chandler for the Lady Dogs. Levi Yacina will be at first base coaching for Elsberry. Carrie Coke Dow will coach at first. She's the assistant softball coach. Both these teams will be in action this weekend right here at Louisiana High as the Louisiana Invitational Tournament is this weekend. We'll tell you about when they play as we go through this game this afternoon.
Should be a good tournament.
Yeah, should be. Monroe City's the 1 seed, I know.
Couple of teams that we don't normally see, not necessarily on everybody's schedule, and so it should be a pretty good mix. If you have a free Saturday, wanting to come out and catch some softball, that'll be a good matchup on Saturday, that whole tournament.
And City from out of the area is Clark County and North Point, which is the new Wentzville High School. So that's one of the things these coaches want to see is different faces because they beat each other to death during the season.
That, and it prepares you for district time as well.
Exactly. Leading off for Elsberry is Kenzie Koch. She'll be followed by Maya Placer and Katie Talbot. As you said, we were going to start early, but we're late. I don't know what happened to you.
They were moving pretty quick at the beginning. They moved through the lineups a little slow.
You were cruising right along there for a bit. So the first pitch by Chandler is down and in, and we're underway here at Wallace Memorial Park. Beautiful day for softball. A little toasty when the sun just comes out.
Oh, my goodness, yes.
Not much of a breeze.
A little bit of a change up the middle for Louisiana, and we'll touch on that after this pitch.
Next pitch is inside as well, so 2-0 to start for Chandler. Yeah, you've got Wallace at short. She showed quite the arm in the warm-ups, and looking at the outfield, good arms in the outfield all around for Louisiana. Next pitch is a strike, making it 2-1 on Kenzie Cope.
Jordan Bayline is nursing an elbow injury. I don't want to call it an injury. There's just some soreness. So she's hasn't played for a couple of games, and she finds herself at second base today.
There's a foul ball down the third base line, evening the count at 2-2. Yeah, she looked like she was throwing fairly freely in warm-ups. Got an arm sleeve on. Louisiana in their pinstripe, white pinstripes on the cardinal red with white Bulldogs across the front, gray pants. Elsberry in their red uniforms with black numbers, white trim with black pants. On the road here this afternoon, the 2-2 pitch is high and away, makes it a full count. We saw a lot of full counts from Coke when she pitched the last time. Now Chandler's going to try and keep pace, I guess, huh?
They're going to have to keep up with each other, right?
Got to work on top, that's for sure. The full count pitch is fouled down the third baseline, way inside, but Coke got the barrel of the bat on it and nearly hit it in the Elsberry dugout. As you mentioned, pretty good crowd on hand here this afternoon.
They know they have a good game to watch.
Didn't get time to go get me a Bulldog dog or a dog pile. You got to have those when you're here.
Yeah, no, they're very good. I like to go on Friday night for football games too.
3-2 pitches drilled to center field. Going back is Reese, and she makes a nice over-the-head catch on a ball that was well hit by Coke, but to dead center field and just over the head of Reese. She made a nice play for one out.
She had to make a couple of corrections to get to where she was, but good read off the bat as that ball could have continued to get over her head, and if Coke gets on, that's at least 2 bags.
Maya Plaster, the lefty, steps in, their leading hitter. Hit a couple of home runs against Elsberry and did the bulk of the damage in a 3-0 win against Clopton. Off-speed pitches rolled just foul outside the first base line. Picked up by DePriest, just a little bit late. Katie Talbot on deck. If anybody gets on, Ashley Javot for the Lady Indians. Plaster, a junior. Where's number 15? Next pitch is a drop ball down the middle and a base hit. Gets to the right side of the second baseman, I should say, for the first hit of the game.
And some of that range kind of differs whenever you flip to the other side of the field, and so maybe not necessarily her strong suit to go to that side, but good effort by Bayline, just finds the grass.
Well, she's playing her to pull, and in fast pitch softball, the general rule of thumb is play them up the middle to start the game, and then as the game wears on and the pitchers get a little wear and tear on them, you start moving towards the lines. But they're playing, she's still over in the first base hole as Plaster faked the run and didn't go, and Pedersen threw to second anyway.
They were all yelling, she's going, and then all of a sudden they were like, oh, we're sorry.
Good throw. Pitch was high for a ball, making it 1-0 on Katie Talbot. She's got some speed, and she'll take the next pitch high for ball 2.
If she was going to go, that would have been the time.
Plaster doesn't have a ton of speed. She will run, but she's not Talbot speed, if you know what I mean. People from Elsberry know what Talbot speed is. The 2-0 pitch is a strike down the middle. There she goes. A throw to second. It's too late. And Plaster makes a liar out of me and steals second base. First stolen base of the game for either club.
Her slide was a little late. She slid right into the bag, and you could see that it kind of jolted her back. Stands up. It was not an easy pop-up slide for her.
It's been dry, so I'm guessing that field is hard. Looks like they put some water on it. Next pitch is swung on and missed. Makes it 2-2.
Good dropping action from Chandler. Looked like maybe a rollover drop ball that just cut to the outside.
She could use a strikeout right here with one out and a runner in scoring position for the Lady Indians, trying to jump out on top. Here in the top of the first, we're just underway. The next pitch is popped up right back here off to our right, and Maddie didn't bring her net again.
I know.
Talk to the station about getting you a net.
Need one that can fit in my pocket. I can just
I don't think you're
expand
gonna catch
out.
much with that. fold out.
Yeah.
Net, yeah.
We need a little time.
2-2 pitch is down the middle and line to right field over the top of the second baseman's head. The right fielder comes in quickly. That's Powell, and she'll keep Plaster at third. So first and third for Elsberry. A couple of hits will go along with the stolen base, and that'll bring in Ashley Javot, the first baseman, hitting in the cleanup spot today with one out. Probably expect Talbot to run on the first pitch right here.
Trying to get two runners into scoring position. May even flash a bunt just to get the runner to second safely.
First pitch is down and in for a ball. Another drop ball. A lot of drop balls. We've seen a couple off-speed pitches from Chandler.
She's got a good mix of pitches and keeps hitters on their toes.
That she does. Next pitch is a drop ball called a strike. Got on the outside half. She got the call.
Talbot's still standing at first base. Hasn't made her move towards second.
That's shocking. The next pitch, and there goes Talbot. See, all we got to do is say she's not running or whatever, and then they run, right?
Manifest it.
There you go. What do they call that? Clairvoyance? So two runners in scoring position, 2-1 the count on Javot. She can put Elsberry on top. She can put some grass stain on one. Line drive into right center field. It'll drop, and it's going to score 2 runs. And Elsberry will jump on top on a RBI single by Ashley Javot.
Everything's been hit to this right side of the field, and Elsberry has done a good job of getting that off the end of the bat, and they're just finding no man's land, able to capitalize, put 2 runs across the plate.
Yeah, she did a good job with that inside pitch. Kind of got jammed. It muscled it out and lined it into right center for the hit. So just one out in the inning as the line continues to move for Elsberry. The next pitch, or first pitch, I should say, to Anna Talbot is high and away for ball 1. 2-0 Elsberry as they jump out on top here in the first. Chandler gets a sign from the dugout and fires. That's a rise ball up and away. They can get 2-0. Well, she's getting behind in the count with almost every hitter. And as you know, as a former pitcher, that can be a sign of trouble.
Yeah, you got to find the zone, and hitters are looking for that 2-0 count. They're looking for something fat.
She got it, and she pops it up. It's beyond second base, and Bayline will come from her second base position and make the catch for the second out. And that'll bring in the catcher, Bentley Letson, with 2 outs and a runner still on first. 2 home for Elsberry here in the first inning. We're in the top of the first. Jim and Maddie with you here on KJFM Radio and online today. The video. First pitch from Chandler is a strike on the outside corner.
It had a little bit of heat on it.
That it did.
Made the glove pop. Good framework from Jordan Pedersen.
Yeah, we talked about that framing, didn't we?
Not necessarily a strike.
Well, if they're trying to frame it a bunch, it's a ball. Next pitch is high above the noggin of Letson. Drop ball got away from her a little bit.
Looked like she maybe tried to take a little bit of something off it and maybe hit her hip as that ball had a funky ride to the plate.
Javot showing no signs of wanting to run. And this one's popped up to the right side as well. In comes the right fielder, Powell, and it's over the top of her head. She missed it for an error. So the runners will advance a base as the error is the first of the game on Elsberry and keeps the inning alive for the Lady Indians. And that'll bring Jillian Reller to the plate, the third base junior.
Javot should have been running on that as she was kind of jogging to second, and I think Levi Yasna was not happy with her.
And this one fouled off to the right. The first pitch to Reller. Yep, with 2 outs, if it's contact, you're going for all you're worth. And maybe she's got Jim Ross speed. Sundial speed.
I was a slow poke. I didn't want to push it any.
The 0-1 pitch. Chandler's ahead with Reller. Next pitch is grounded to short. Wallace comes in, kicks it, and it'll be bases loaded. Error number 2 of the inning. So we talked about Elsberry being clean most of the year, not so much today. They had fielding problems, though, against Silex. And now the team comes together, and they want to chat about it. Coach is not out. Bases loaded. 2 outs in the inning, 2 runs home.
In that situation, Katie Wallace was charging that ball. She did a little bit of a cut around Javot. She has every right to run straight into her at that point, and so that's your way out of the inning. Instead,
Right.
She's charged for the error because she came around it and fielded it kind of funny.
Yeah, you just run into the runner. It's pretty much an easy out then.
Back-to-back errors, though, for Louisiana.
Mackenzie Burke steps in, and the first pitch is wide, but the short backstop here won't allow the runner to score. And it's ball 1 with the bases loaded. Burke, the second baseman this afternoon. She's just a freshman for Elsberry. 1-0 pitch with the bases juiced. Down and in, ball 2.
Good block from Jordan Pedersen. That ball had some top spin to it, found the dirt rather quickly.
So looking for her pitch is Burke on the 2-0 count. It's right down central. The umpire says a little bit high. And it's 3-0. No place to put her as the bases are juiced. Long first half inning for Maddie Chandler. Next pitch is right down central for strike 1, makes it 3-1. Well, she threw a drop ball on the 3-1. You got to figure she's going to throw one on 3-0. You got to figure she's going to throw the same pitch on 3-1, right?
If it's working.
There it is. Same pitch, same spot, same result. Now the count is full. Burke should have been looking for that, eh?
Yeah, and you knew what was coming. She has to stay in this count, so you should be looking for your pitch to hit.
The 3-2 pitch is up and away. Ball 4. And an RBI walk for Burke. First walk of the game. But it gives Elsberry a 3-0 lead here in the first. And they don't want to dig too deep of a hole here. As I mentioned, Coke's got pretty good stuff. Pitch to the 9-hole hitter, Kelsey Chigola, is high. She's the designated player this afternoon. She made some good contact in the game we saw against Clopton.
Was a big part of their district run last year as well.
One of the pitches a ball high as well, as the strike zone seems to have shrunk.
And that when that pressure's on, sometimes that strike zone does seem to feel like it gets smaller when you're on the mound anyways, that mental box that you're putting yourself in because all of the pressure is up on you, so you're trying to be too fine. You just got to throw the ball.
Same pitch, same call, ball 3. Well, you and I talked about this down at Elsberry. When I umpired, I told the coaching staff, look, we're not here to walk. Tell your batters to get the bat off their shoulder because we're going to have a strike zone.
Yeah, the last two hitters, Burke and Chigola, haven't picked the bat up off their shoulder.
Nope, that pitch right down the middle makes the count 3-1. 3-0 our score. Bases loaded still. 2 outs in the inning. Still in the first half of the first. Next pitch is a strike right down the middle again.
I say do it again. They haven't proved that they're going to swing the bat.
No.
You take advantage of it.
Absolutely. No need to change a thing. And that one is on the inside corner and a strikeout looking. So that'll do it for the inning. A big inning for Elsberry. They score 3 runs in the top of the first. Louisiana coming up after this on Eagle 102.
Coverage if anything were to happen to your new baby. Ask me, Ashley Jenkins.
On KJFM Radio, brought to you by Brown Processing.
For the Dogs in the top of the first, they give up 3 runs. We'll see if they can answer here in the bottom of the first. And they'll start off with Jalea Reese, Katie Wallace, and Tessa DePriest. Let's look at the defense for Elsberry. Hardwick, Talbot, Anna, and Katie across the outfield, left to right from third to first. Reller, Plaster, Burke, and Javot. And your battery today is behind the plate is Letson, and on the hill is Katie Koch. Kelsey Calvin will coach at third. Dustin Green will be at first for the Lady Indians.
Elsberry has the 3-0 lead over Louisiana. That's fueled from errors and walks.
Ironically, no unearned runs because those 2 errors didn't result in a run, and neither one of them scored. And so 3 earned runs in that first, and as everybody batted, Elsberry went through the lineup and batted around in the first, and Talbot just now getting to the pitcher's mound. Was she on base? I guess she must have been. No, she wasn't on the base.
Maybe she was trying to find her glove.
Been over taking a nap or what?
I had a teammate in college, and she was a pitcher, and she constantly lost her glove. So if I wasn't pitching, she gave me her glove, and if she didn't give me her glove, well, it was lost.
Well, if you pitchers are throwing well, you don't need a glove, right?
That is true.
Reese steps in, the center fielder, and she swings and misses. She's a slap hitter, has a lot of speed, and we'll see if she wants to try and take advantage of that speed against Koch. Drop ball, curveball change for Koch, and that one's up and in. Evens the count at 1-1.
Looks like Koch is trying to find her footing. Maybe she's sliding a little bit at the end. She's really almost falling forward in her pitch.
And next pitch up in the zone, swung on and missed by Reese, and it's 1-2. Yeah, you don't want to be leaning forward as a softball pitcher, believe it or not. Conventional wisdom would say that would make sense, but that's not the case. The next pitch is called strike 3 right on the outside corner, so Reese strikes out looking. And that'll bring in Katie Wallace, the shortstop junior for Elsberry. I'm just telling you, if Koch's on, it could be trouble. There's that little curveball rise. swung on and missed.
She has really good spin and has some power behind her. It looks like she's around the zone and encouraging them to swing.
And she does have pretty good velocity this afternoon. 0-1 pitch fouled straight back on the bathroom facilities here at Wallace Memorial Park. And it's 0-2. 3-0 our score. Elsberry on top. We're in the bottom of the first. Next pitch is up and away. She really, when she tries to throw that rise ball curve, she really yanks that hand and body across her hand and hips across her body.
Her movements are so fast that I think that that's where she loses control because she's supposed to release at this one point, but she's moving so quick she blows right through it.
Right, next pitch is up and away as well. So 2-2 on Wallace with 1 out in the inning. They play her straight away at all positions. DePriest on deck, Chandler in the hole. If anybody gets out on, and after an 0-2 count, Coke runs it to 3-2 on Wallace. A base runner would be good, eh?
Would, especially with Wallace. She's a smart base runner and has some speed. Then you're getting to the core of your lineup.
And she checks her swing or tries to, but went around. So 2 strikeouts so far in the inning and the game for Coke. She picks up right where she left off against Clopton. And in steps your first baseman, Tessa DePriest. She is a junior as well, one of the many juniors on this club. First pitch up and away. Batting in the 3-hole today, Chandler on deck for the Lady Dogs. The next pitch up and away as well.
Good opportunity for Tessa to be selective up there, 2-0 count.
You know, Coke really hadn't thrown that many strikes, which actually is a sign of a good fast pitch pitcher. She's got movement, but at some point you got to make her throw you a gut shot, and that one's up and away as well, making it 3-0. The 3-0 pitch is up and away as well, so maybe that's the mode of operation.
Couple of strikeouts and then a walk.
make her throw a strike, you know, instead of swinging at stuff that starts in the zone and finishes out of the zone.
Usually that means moving back in the box, giving yourself some more time to see the pitch.
The first pitch to Chandler is on the outside corner, called strike 1. 2 outs in the inning. DePriest at first. Letson behind the plate for Elsberry with Coke on the hill. The next pitch is up and away. Evening the count at 1-1. We'll have a ton of football for you again tomorrow night. A couple games. Next pitch is down the middle, fouled back, off to the right, and out of play. And it's 1-2.
We have a new parking lot in right field.
We do. Very nice. I think there's plans for another one over by the baseball field as well.
So what happens when somebody clears right field?
Well, you got a problem. And ground ball to second on the force play. A nice play by Burke. A fielder's choice for Chandler. And the third out of the inning. A walk, no hits, no runs. And it's 3-0 as we head to the second on Eagle 102.
That's why we offer discounts for good students, safe driving, and more. Trust us to look out for the road ahead. ATV needs, give myself or a call today. Pike County Mutual Insurance Company, on the square in Bowling Green. High school sports.
Well, Elsberry batted around in the first, so they'll be right back to the top of the order. And the first pitch to Kenzie Koch is down and in for ball one, and that was the Achilles heel for Maddie Chandler. In the first inning was throwing strikes, getting ahead.
Makes your game a lot easier. You can kind of throw whatever you want, and you can keep hitters guessing. They know they're going to have to swing if you're putting strikes across the plate.
Next pitch is a ball as well, so she starts behind in the count once again. Talbot flew hard to center field in the first and takes the 2-0 pitch on the inside corner for a strike. They can get 2-1. If just joining us, 3 runs in the first for Elsberry. They lead it 3-0 as we're in the top of the second here in Louisiana. Next pitch is down and in. Ball 3 to Koch. Plaster and Talbot to follow for the Lady Indians. They are 7-3-1, as we mentioned. Won the only meeting against Elsberry this year, 6-5 in the championship game of the Elsberry tournament. And the 3-1 pitch is called a strike. Makes the count full. Elsberry's won 9 of the last 10 in this series. The 3-2 pitch from Chandler is flown to center, and Reese moves in a step, backs up a step, and makes the catch. So she's had the number of Talbot in this ball game so far. Plaster will step in, who singled in the first, got the rally started for Elsberry. Talbot and Javot to follow.
That right side of the field should be ready and start shifting a little bit with the next 3 hitters. They all hit to the right side.
The first pitch to Plaster is pulled between the hole of first and second for a base hit. She's got 2 hits. She's just a good hitter. I don't know who she plays summer ball with, but she's learned a lot, and she's just a junior as well. Talbot now will step in. That's Katie, the right fielder. She also singled in the first, along with Javot, who's on deck. She singled as well. All 3 scored. Plaster runs, but it's a bunt, and bunt foul, straight down and back up and hit the bat a second time for strike 1. Plaster was on the move.
Have the potential for a double play, but have some speed with Talbot at the plate. Have to be anticipating that bunt. Got a good arm at third base with Allie Jenkins.
Got to make sure they get it out. Ground ball to third. Nobody covering second. She'll go to first for the out. Good attentiveness by Jenkins to recognize that Bayline had not got to second base as she was playing in the hole. It'll advance the runner to second, but 2 outs for Javot. Javot with a 2 RBI single in the first inning. It was through the looping liner to right center. She swings and misses at the first pitch, had a mighty cut, and she's in the hole 1-0.
She even knocked her helmet around a little bit.
Well, my motto was, if you're going to swing, don't get cheated, right? Did you ever get the bat?
I did.
That was a mistake, wasn't it?
Oh, well, for the other team.
The 0-1 pitch is down and in. Evens the count at 1-1. 2 outs in the inning. Plaster at second. And a Talbot on deck for the Lady Indians. They lead at 3-0. The 1-1 pitch from Maddie Chandler is fisted to the shortstop, and her and Jenkins run together, but Jenkins makes the catch. So that will end the inning. A hit with the runner left on base, and it's still 3-0 Elsberry here from Louisiana on Eagle 102.
Open every day, 9 until 7. Ackles Farm Market just off Highway 54 in New Hartford. The most complete coverage of high school. And it's brought to you by Mid-America Auto and Towing, the Mercantile Bank.
Let's see if Powell, Jenkins, and Womack can get anything going for the Lady Dogs here against Kinsey Koch.
The big thing that Louisiana is going to have to do is to see their pitch. Obviously, being down 3-0 right now, you're wanting to get something on the scoreboard, but if you're just going up there hacking, not getting your pitch necessarily, not swinging at good pitches, that mission's going to become a little bit harder.
Yeah, with Koch, you got to swing at strikes, no question about it. You mentioned she's got pretty good stuff, but she's not necessarily in the zone very often. First pitch down and in. Two sophomores pitching today. Koch just a sophomore. As we mentioned, Elsberry has no seniors. And I believe Louisiana has got 3 seniors in their starting lineup today as the next pitch is fouled back for the first strike. Makes it 1-1. Powell playing right field today. She pitched a little bit last year. I don't think she's pitched much at all this year.
No, I think with Womack and Chandler doing most of the work.
And there's a base hit up the middle, right through the box for Powell. The first hit of the game for the Lady Dogs. And we'll see if they can get something going here. Allie Jenkins will step in. She's got some power. The third baseman's a senior as well. Wouldn't expect to see Powell running too much, down by 3. First pitch is a strike on the inside half at the knees. 0-1. Womack on deck, Bayline in the hole for the Bulldogs. There's a little line drive through the hole between second and first. And the Dogs have something cooking here. Back-to-back hits by Jenkins and Powell. And let's see if Reese Womack joins in the fun.
It was like Mackenzie Burke was shaded a little bit more towards second base and opened that hole up between Javot and Burke. Jenkins was able to split that gap, and Burke got over there, and it skipped right over her glove.
First pitch to Reese is a curveball on outer half. She swings and misses. Had a good cut at it, but couldn't draw any iron with it. And she looks in her pocket to get the infamous card out.
Are the other girls wearing wristbands? No, they're not. They're just putting it in their pockets.
Already voiced my opinion about those. She squares to bunt. That's a rise ball out of the zone. She bunts at it and misses. So she's in the hole. 0-2 is the sophomore Womack. Now she's got to put it in play. The 0-2 pitch is a curveball off the zone. Good 0-2 pitch, though, by Koch.
The other thing about this card is if you're only looking at it one time in at bat, what was Elsberry doing? They had crashed in because they knew you had only looked at it once. You knew what was coming.
Kind of a dead giveaway, isn't it? Like I said the other day, when I played a game and Coach just held up a sign, bunt,
yeah,
run, hit and run. You know? Well, that's exactly what that did. The 2-2 pitch now from Koch, way outside the zone, up against the screen. The runners will advance. As a throw to third is way late.
Letson got to that quickly. Backstop had a little bit to do with it, but pretty good pop time.
So, runners in scoring position now for Louisiana. 2 of them, and a swing and a miss by Womack for the first out of the inning.
That was a beautiful curveball. Had really good break, and Reese, I think, was looking inside, went chasing.
In steps Jordan Bayline now with 1 out. And the first pitch is right down central. Bayline, a sophomore, playing second base today. Where's Hammer and Hank's number? 44. You know who Hammer and Hank is?
I do. Hank Aaron.
There you go. Yeah, I'm not going to pull anything on you in baseball, am I?
There's some things I don't know. I'm still learning.
Next pitch is down and in, but a check swing. Bayline can't hold up. Makes the count 0-2.
Need to get at least one of these runners across, especially if you started out with second and third. No outs.
Saw Koch do that a time or two against Clopton, get in trouble, and she was able to strike her way out of the inning in both of those innings with 3 strikeouts in one and 2 in the other. And she's 1-2 on Bayline, and that pitch is high. Close one to take, but it evens the count at 2-2. 1 out in the inning.
Anything close now, you definitely need to swing, especially getting away with that pitch.
And here comes the 2-2. It's down the central for strike 3. She took it looking. And 2 outs in the inning, and Ty Campbell, the left fielder, will step in. She's one of the seniors for the Dogs. She's got great speed.
I believe last weekend at the Elsberry tournament, she hit her first home run of her high school career and then also hit the second one on the same day.
Wild pitch is up and away, but as we mentioned, the backstop is hard and close here. Well, it's kind of that way everywhere, except for Clopton. Clopton's got a lot of space behind theirs as they play on a baseball field. But everybody that's got a softball field, it's close and hard to advance on a wild pitch. So the count's 1-0, and the next pitch is strike right down the middle. You know, hitting's hard enough. You got to understand count and what you're going to get as a pitch. And that's a challenge this day and age. The 1-1 pitch is off the end of the bat to first, and Campbell's going to run and beat it out. Yes, she does.
I think Javot was a little confused as to what she wanted to do with that, was giving her second baseman, Mackenzie Burke, a little bit of time as she was hustling back to the bag, but Campbell has some speed. She's able to get to first base on that.
She wasn't going to beat Campbell to first. As we mentioned, Campbell with great speed. So that'll bring in Reese. She has likewise speed, and she'll take the first pitch for a strike. Runner on first and third. Or runners, I should say. 3-1 our score. Elsberry on the board here in the bottom of the second. Reese struck out looking back in the first. Takes the 0-1 pitch outside. It's even to count 1-1 as Campbell goes to second with defensive indifference there. They just let her run with the runner at third. Counts 1-1. The next pitch up in the zone. Ball 2. So put it in play and see what happens, right?
Good adjustment by Jalea Reese there as she was swinging at everything up in the zone. She was able to hold off this time, and that goes in there for ball 2.
Third baseman playing deep. She put down a bunt, but she'll hit a line drive to left field and a great catch by Hardwick. A line shot by Reese, and Hardwick coming hard and catches the ball just to her left for the third out of the inning and saves a run for Elsberry. Louisiana scores a run on 3 hits, and they could only get 1 in, left 2 on base. But they score a run, and it's 3-1 as we head to the top of the third inning on Eagle 102.
And many other specialty items. Stop by England Plumbing today. 61 Bowling Green.
Brown's Auto Body on Highway 54 in Louisiana is here for all your auto body needs. They work with all insurance companies and are happy to help you navigate through the process. Brown's Auto Body is also a proud supporter of area athletes, wishing them all the best of luck throughout the season. Area high school sports on Eagle 102 by Rod Prentice and Brenda Crawford, State Farm agent, Husky, and Apple Farm Market.
5, 6, and 7 for Elsberry in the top of the third. Talbot, Letson, and Reller. Talbot popped out to the second baseman. That back in the first inning. We are in the top of the third as Chandler works from behind once again as the first pitch is twice as tall as Talbot and up against the screen.
It's something that you want to see her get away from, especially with more experience and into her sophomore year. You want to see a little bit more consistency, and I think last year we saw that more towards the end of the season.
Next pitch is fouled up against the Louisiana dugout. Foul. Even the count at 1-1. Fielder's playing straight up. Looks like we've got a different second baseman in the game.
We do.
See another. Is that Anderson maybe? Next pitch is off the end of the bat and caught.
Oh, wow, what a catch.
By the second baseman, and I believe that's Anderson, if I'm not
Peyton
mistaken.
Anderson.
Number 4. Did you find that number?
Oh, was it number 4?
I think that's who it. No, I'm sorry. It's number 13.
Okay, yep. So then that's Peyton Anderson. So good catch by Peyton.
So maybe Bayline's elbow causing her some trouble. But a nice play by Anderson on that running blooper. And the first pitch to Letson is inside for ball 1. 3-1 our score. Elsberry on top.
Some clouds moving in.
We will welcome a little shade. We do not want any rain, however. Ground ball is short. Wallace picks it up, fires to first. Right on the money. 6-3 on the put out. 2 outs in the inning, and that'll bring in Jillian Reller, who reached on air in the first.
I love watching Katie Wallace play. She has good fundamentals, and everything looks so smooth, and I feel like some of that gets lost, especially with recent years in softball, and so it's really nice to see a player that looks that way out there.
Really good arm strength. As the first pitch is a strike right on the outside corner. I have a great view from the outside corner. I can't see anything down the middle of the plate because this pole's right my way. But I got the corners covered for you. The 0-1 pitch with 2 outs. That's down central and flown to right field. And moseying back to make an interesting catch was Powell. And that'll do it for the Elsberry Indians in the 3rd inning. No runs, no hits, no errors, and nobody left on base. We head to the bottom of the 3rd. Elsberry on top, 3-1. Well, 1, 2, 3 inning for Chandler. It's amazing what happens when you pound the strike zone, right?
Yeah, and then defense came up big behind her, and so that's always helpful. But she was around the strike zone and was encouraging Elsberry to swing the bat. When they did, they put it in play. Defense did the work.
2, 3, and 4 for Louisiana. Wallace, DePriest, and Maddie Chandler. Wallace has got a Heat helmet on. That's a pretty good club, travel club out of St. Louis.
I think she and Allie Jenkins play for the Heat.
I think you're right. As she struck out looking in the first, or swinging in the first, she'll take the first pitch from Koch for a strike. 3-1 our score. Elsberry on top. They scored 3 in the first. Louisiana answered with 1 in the second. This next pitch is outside, but fouled off to the right side into the parking lot, the old parking lot. And it's 0-2. Wallace in the hole. As I mentioned, DePriest and Chandler to follow. Wallace swings it from the right side and takes the next pitch up and away. It's kind of been the mode of operation for Koch. She gets ahead, 0-2, throws that curve ball rise, if you will, up and out of the zone. The next pitch down the middle and drilled up the middle, and it gets by the center fielder. Let's watch Wallace run. She's got some speed. She's going to pull up at second. Pretty smart move there. That's going to be a hit and an error, I believe, for Wallace, as that ball would have got down. But the center fielder tried to make a circus catch, and it gets by her.
Yeah, that was Anna Talbot, and she slid in, and it was kind of sideways where she wanted to slide more towards home plate, and the ball gets around her and then finds its way to the fence.
Well, it's hit right at her, and those are the toughest ones. First pitch fouled straight back by DePriest as Louisiana's starting to find the range on Koch. When they hit it right at you, she didn't go right away. She paused to figure out how deep it was, and by the time she turned it on, came up a little short. So a hit and an error on second base is Wallace, and in 1 strike count to DePriest. She fouls the next pitch straight back as well. She's right on Koch, but in the hole now, 0-2. Chandler on deck, Powell in the hole for the Lady Dogs. Three to 1 our score. Wallace on second, playing her straight up. Infield's back. Next pitch is high Makes it ball 1. 1-2 is the count.
Just as you mentioned, that's kind of her go-to pitch, and if you can lay off it 0-2, we just saw what Katie Wallace did. If she brings that ball back down, that's when you want to swing and punch it right back up the middle.
The 1-2 pitch is chin high ball, drop ball, and it's 2-2. The sun goes down and it's just, or behind a cloud, and it's just perfect out here for softball.
It is. Good fall day.
Use just a touch of a breeze. And 2-2 pitch is down and in. And the count is full, 3-2. So pick on one you like right here. Junior first baseman, Tessa DePriest. The 3-2 pitch from Koch is right down the middle and fouled straight back once again. She's done that 3 times in this at bat. So she's on the money. Just got to square one up.
Good at bat so far by Tessa, and seeing a lot of good pitches and wearing down Koch.
The 3-2 pitch, runner on second, nobody out in the inning, on the way, and it's down the center and fouled back again.
Putting some good swings on it. Those foul balls are coming off the bat pretty hot. Just needs to time it up a little bit better, turn a little bit quicker, and that ball is a line drive.
Both pitcher and batter doing a good job here as Koch pounding strikes and DePriest fouling them back. We'll do it again with a full count. The right-hander fires, and it's off the zone. Oh, my Lord, that was outside. As I mentioned, I got a good look. But they called it a strike 3, looking for the first out of the inning.
Didn't even try to ring it in. I think that Letson was just expecting a walk to be issued, but that's strike 3.
I had her going to first, and there's a blooper over the second baseman's head, and it'll drop by Chandler. And Wallace who had to hold up to make sure the ball dropped. We'll scamper now to third base. So first and third with 1 out, and Emily Powell will step in for the Dogs. She singled in the first, and we've got a courtesy runner for the pitcher Chandler. And that is number 12, and you've got your handy-dandy roster right there as Levi Yasna goes out and wants to chat with his troops.
Believe that is Harley Norval.
Will courtesy run for Maddie Chandler.
We have 2 number 12s.
We do.
Nakaya Griffith, but I know Nakaya, and that's not Nakaya.
That's good. That's good that you know that. Yeah, we do. Even on my little thing, we've got 2 of them. Interesting. How do you do that?
I don't know.
So let's see what Emily Powell can do. She singled in the first, scored the only run for Louisiana so far, but they've got runners on first and third. And let's see what Elsberry wants to do when this runner tries to steal second. Yeah, Levi went out and had a little chat with the troops, so they might have put on some sort of trick play maybe. Wallace not likely to fall for that, however. Koch on the mound. The first pitch to Powell's ripped up the middle. And the run will score. What a bullet that was by Emily Powell with the RBI. That was the hardest hit ball we've seen today.
She was waiting and caught that fastball coming right at her down the middle. She drove it right back up the middle. And that was a good job by Anna Talbot in center field to get the ball in quickly, but single all day long.
First pitch is off the zone to Allie Jenkins outside. She also singled back in the second inning. First and second, 1 out. 3-2 our score. And it swung on and missed on a high drop ball that time by Jenkins. Was on it and then shook her head, and I should have probably let that one go. Evens the count at 1-1, 1 out in the inning. Koch fires. That's up and away. Ball 2.
That was strike 3 earlier.
That was a little closer. Just a little. And the 2-1 pitch now by Koch. Norval at second. Powell at first. It's down and in. Makes it 3-1. So now you get a chance to cherry pick the pitch you really like and you're looking for, which should be that little drop ball right down the center. And swung on straight back. Right on it.
We know Jenkins has some power.
She does have some power. I like she's choked up off the knob of that bat. That's what I used to teach my kids. Get up off the knob just a little bit. It'll make your bat speed a little faster, and you still got the barrel of the bigger bat to do the damage. So the count is full at 3-2, still one out. Jenkins in a pretty good spot here for the Dogs. Pitch is on the way, and it's fouled back again.
Koch has no choice other than to try to find it around the zone or walk Jenkins, and so if she can limit the amount of ability to chase here, I think that she's going to find her a pitch to drive.
Jenkins does have home run power. A hit's all they need right here, though, do the Indians. The 3-2 pitch is swung on and missed on a outside drop ball for the second out of the inning. And that'll bring in Reese Womack. Reese struck out swinging in the second. So Louisiana hadn't been able to take advantage so far of a lot of base runners. Let's see what Womack can do. She swings at the pitch over her head for strike one.
Her foot was down. She had her timing, but she wasn't watching where the ball was going.
That wasn't even close, really. She's still shaking her head going, what was I thinking about? The 0-1 pitch is a swing and a miss, little curveball just off the outside corner. And the count is 0-2. So can Koch strike out her way out of this mess again? She's up on the count 0-2. 2 on, 2 out for Louisiana. The next pitch is down and gets away from the catcher Letson, and runners will advance. So now a hit and make life interesting. But a 1-2 count for Reese Womack, the designated player today.
You can tell Reese is eager to hit, needs to let her pitch come to her. She could knock in 2 runs.
Got to put it in place somewhere. Anything but a strikeout. See what happens. The 1-2 pitch is fouled back. And the umpire makes the grab off the screen. He'll be putting ice on that tonight.
Your fingers have to sting just a little bit.
He's got a lot of gray hair, I can tell you that. Hit on the soft part of his hand. He's like, ooh, I shouldn't have done that. The 1-2 pitch is that curveball. They call it again. Strike 3. It's about 6 inches off the plate. So 2 strikeouts to clean up the mess for Koch. She struck out 3 in the inning. However, Louisiana does score a run on 3 hits, and they shorten the lead to 3-2, and Maddie will have the next 3 innings for you after this on Eagle 102.
They say we will be the local installer. They are wrong.
Contact Matthew at Sailor and Satellite Center in Bowling Green, your local authorized dealer.
As many as 50% of people don't take their medication as prescribed. Missing or not taking medication can be deadly. For questions about medication, visit your local Health Mart pharmacy, Bowling Green Pharmacy, located right on the square at 8 North Court in Bowling Green.
And Rick Crab Cake. A taste of Philly in Bowling Green is a fan favorite. A meal ready for you before or after the game. And game day jerseys are welcome. Open 7 days a week. A taste of Philly. Business Highway 54 West in Bowling Green. Area high school sports and Eagle 102. By Eagle Championship. Baseball and sports.
Jumping into this inning quickly, as it was Mackenzie Burke who hit a ground ball back to the pitcher. Chandler hits off her glove, and it was bobbled. And the shortstop, Katie Wallace, was moving, couldn't recover, so it was an error on the pitcher. Burke standing at first base.
Ooh, tough scoring by Maddie today.
Well, I would have said just let it go and let your defense take it.
Is that what they told you?
Yeah.
Because you couldn't throw it first, could you?
No, I could.
Could you?
I didn't have the yips. I wasn't one of those people, but if I was having to move to catch a pop fly, that wouldn't
Uh-oh.
happen. Oh, it drops in front of us, a foul ball. If we would have had the net,
It's money.
it's what I need. Nonetheless, it's 0-2.
Sidekick over here should have grabbed that. He's sitting
Yeah.
there taking a nap, didn't make the
I think
catch.
he even has a glove on him.
That's going to be an error because of lack of interest.
0-2 the count on Chagola. This one is fouled out of place. They'll try 0-2 again.
Off to pole and back into play. Old Thad Radford chicken out on that foul ball. Got to charge those things, Thad. It makes it a lot easier.
Maddie Chandler is getting the call from the dugout. She looks at her wristband, comes set, and is ready for the next pitch. Curveball. Didn't get enough bite. Chagola got it off the end of the bat. It's fouled back to the screen.
A lot of foul back to the screens going on in this game.
As long as they don't hit my car, I'm cool with it.
Where'd you park? Surely.
I parked behind this building. Not directly behind the building, but with some protection.
Gotcha.
This one is fouled out of play as well. We've got enough fans here. They're chasing the ball down.
That's a good thing.
I know.
Balls a long time ago. They didn't.
Looks like the lights are trying to come on as the sun goes into hiding. 0-2 the count. Tries to go upstairs. Doesn't trace. It's 1-2. Knocked down by Jordan Pedersen as that ball had a unique spin upward and out.
Bad spot for an 0-2 pitch.
You want her to chase. 1-2. This one is grounded to the shortstop, Wallace. They're going to take the opportunity for the play at second base. They get it there. Unable to turn two, but they get the force out.
(6-4) on the force out. Good play by Wallace. Pagola wasn't going to get doubled on that. That ball was hit kind of slow off the fist.
One out, and now we're back to the top of the lineup. It'll be Kinsey Koch. She's flied out twice to center field. That one spiked into the ground. Foul ball.
She is definitely on it today.
Coach Levi Yasna is kind of looking around like, that was almost me. I was almost hit by that.
He's nowhere near the coach's box because he doesn't want to get hit by a line drive. I can't say that I blame him.
0-1 with a runner at first base. One out. Curveball. And having to hustle back to first base is Chagola. But that ball is
Pedersen had a chance to
out.
pick her off.
Yeah.
She should have just taken off running at her. Instead, she elected to look her back. And now they check the count, and it's 1-1.
At the top of the order, it'll be Koch. She gets on, it'll be Plaster. This one chopped hard to the third baseman, Jenkins. She looks at second, throws it across the diamond to first. Chagola safe at second base, and out at first base is Kinsey Koch. She did advance the runner, though.
Another good choice by Jenkins as the second baseman playing over in the hole between first and second. Had a long way to go and wasn't going to get there in time, so she pumped one time and fired at the first for the out. Now he brings in Plaster, who's trouble.
She sees a strike on the outside corner for the first pitch of her at bat.
2 hits so far in the game today. I am putting her on first if it's me.
She's usually good for at least a hit a game. This one is powered into left field. Going back is Ty Campbell, and she makes a diving play at the wall. She holds on to that one. They're hugging and celebrating in center field. What a play by Ty Campbell to get her team out of the inning. We are headed to the bottom of the fourth inning. 3-2, Elsberry leads Louisiana on Eagle 102. Bottom of the fourth inning, 3-2. The Elsberry Lady Indians lead the Louisiana Lady Bulldogs, and man, that was an impressive play by Ty Campbell out in left field for Louisiana.
Yes, it was, and, you know, when you're running like that, if you're not running on your toes, the ball's moving around, and she made a nice catch to save a run for the Louisiana Bulldogs, and they trail. And, you know, we talked about this in the pregame a little bit, a lot of one-run games between these two teams. They're right on time, 3-2 Elsberry.
Expected nothing else. It'll be Anderson batting as Bayline came out of the game. That pitch ran a little bit outside, taken for a ball. And so she'll dig back in for the 1-0 count. Next pitch from Koch. Big swing from Anderson.
A little out in front of that one is Anderson. I'm going to see what grade she's in. Looks like she's a freshman. Peyton.
This one is fouled back towards us. 1-1. Excuse me, 1-2.
Had a good rip at it, but in the hole 0-2, as you said.
So she'll dig back in. She's waiting on Koch because she has her feet set and ready to go. That front shoulder is lined closer to the plate. And, man, that curveball has been called all day. You got to start swinging at it. It is a little out of the zone, but she's caught looking for out number 1.
You know, and I'm okay with that. If you're going to stay there and call it a strike every time, batter's got to adjust to it, and he's been pretty consistent with it.
Exactly right. We're down to the 9 spot. Campbell, then we'll turn this lineup back over for Louisiana. That
8th strikeout of the game for Koch, so she's on that strikeout tear like she did against Clopton a couple of weeks ago.
One 1-0 pitch to Ty Campbell. Make it 1-1.
Drop ball at the knees that time.
Ty was able to leg out a single her last at bat. This one is poked softly to the first baseman, and it's Ashlyn Javot coming in, sliding on her knees to make the catch. That's out number 2.
That one right off the end of the bat and had a lot of spin on it. Javot made a nice catch, as you mentioned, going to her knees.
So now back to the top for Jalea Reese. She hit a ball hard to left field her last at bat, and it was caught.
Ooh, that almost got her mask, her face mask on her helmet.
Did she flinch?
Up and in. She kind of had a little shiver. I don't know if it was a flinch or not.
She goes right back to the same spot that she was. That one comes for her head.
Got to take one for the team, don't you?
You have a helmet, and they have ice.
Yeah, I don't think I'm going to let it hit me in the head.
No, you're not going to feel too good. Not today or tomorrow. 2-0, 3-0.
Reese struck out looking in the first and flew out to the left fielder in the second on a nice running play by Hardwig. Had 2 nice plays by the left fielders, and that one up and in again over behind her head that time.
Man, she was quick to get out of the way a couple of times and was able to avoid the head injury. She was walking down to first, and I think she's probably pretty glad about that.
Yeah, without any bodily harm coming
Right.
to her. Second walk of the game by Koch to go along with 8 strikeouts, as we mentioned.
Coach Levi Yasna is wanting to talk about it. Gives Coach Kelsey Calvin an opportunity to talk to Katie Wallace, trying to talk to her about the zone.
Katie Wallace is a tumbler. Did you know that?
I did not.
Cheerleader that tumbles. Maybe if she'd get a hit, she'd do a couple backflips on the way, round off a backflip or 2 down to first base.
If she hits a home run, she could cartwheel from third to
Hey,
home.
she plays short. She could do the Ozzie Smith thing when she goes
She
out to
could.
the field. That would be pretty awesome.
That'd be fun. It would be nice for her to do that before her senior year. I think that would
Right.
be
It's like senior night. Wouldn't it? Yeah, that'd be awesome. All
Let her
right,
just do it.
we got to get that in motion.
First pitch to Katie nearly grazes her. Taken for a ball.
That was in tight. See
1-0.
if Reese wants to run any. Pretty good arm behind the plate and lets him.
2-0 to count with Jalea Reese at first base. Katie Wallace In the batter's box, it's Tessa DePriest in the on-deck circle. This one is hit sharply to the shortstop. Plaster looks at second base, then throws it across the diamond. Is she able to hold on?
I'd say she did.
DeVoe looked like she kind of trapped it. But they'll get out of the inning without any scratches. They are headed to the top of the fifth here at Wallace Memorial Park, 3-2. Elsberry leads Louisiana on Eagle 102.
Community State Bank in Bowling Green and Troy, your community bank since 1887, member FDIC. When you're looking for a taste of Italy in Pike County, visit Gambino's Eatery in Louisiana, just a block from the riverfront on 3rd and Georgia. Experience the Gambino family recipe meatballs in a toasted garlic bun, or enjoy some Italian wine with friends while indulging in Connecticut with cinnamon soda chips. Exciting American cuisine that's sure to tantalize your taste buds. Gambino's Eatery, 3rd and Georgia, downtown Louisiana.
And with just coverage of high school sports on Eagle 102, brought to you by Pike County Health Department, Eagle Savings Bank, and Alcohol. All the action from the Eagle 102 broadcast booth. Sponsored by General Drum in Louisiana.
And Jim Rawson with you this afternoon on Eagle 102 as we have a 3-2 ball game here at Wallace Memorial Park. This one is chop foul off the bat of Katie Talbot. It'll be 3-4-5 for Elsberry. Maddie Chandler still in the circle for Louisiana. Settled down nicely after that first inning, giving up 3 runs.
Been throwing a lot more strikes. Talbot hitting 2 trips in this ball game.
And the next one hit hard down the third baseline.
It was inside pitches. Elsberry's just yanking them foul. Keeping Coach Jasna active over there in the third base coaching box. And it looks like Maya Plaster warming up for Elsberry.
0-2 the count.
She's got to come in. Sorry.
This one is bounced in to Pedersen. She blocks it with her chest guard. They really don't have a bullpen around here unless you want to use the middle school softball field.
No.
So she'll warm up in the grass. This one is hit sharply to shortstop, off the glove of Katie Wallace into the outfield. She covered some good ground there, but was shifted more towards third.
Just didn't quite get there. Good effort. It'll go down as a hit. We're not going to let Maddie score that.
No, it would have been a hit. I was surprised she got to it, to be honest with you. She had to take some big strides. Now that brings in Ashlyn Javot. In her last at bat, she hit a fly ball to the third baseman, Allie Jenkins. That one's smoked past Allie into left field, and Ty Campbell will be the one to pick it up and toss it into third base, but a single for Javot.
So Elsberry got something going on here in the fifth. 2 on, nobody out.
And at the plate, it's Anna Talbot. They sandwiched Javot in between the Talbots. They're talking about what they're going to be doing. This one is popped in the air high. Going back, calling everyone off. It's Ty Campbell. She makes the catch, tosses it into third base quickly. Keep the runners at first and second.
Campbell has a very good arm from left field, so no advance by the runners and an out in the inning.
That brings in Bentley Letson, the catcher.
Letson reached on an error and grounded out to short.
First pitch to Letson is taken for a strike.
Right on that outside corner. You know it's going to be called there, so as they say, throw it there, right?
Let's see what Elsberry has in store. As we know, Letson has some speed. And they flash bunt, pull it back. Big jump. But retreating back to second base is Talbot.
Pitch is a strike, making it 0-2.
Oh, 2 with runners at first and second base and an out on the scoreboard. Next, swung on and missed. She goes down with the strikeout. That's big for Chandler.
The second strikeout of the game, I believe, for Chandler. That one's swinging.
So, 2 quick outs there as she had a fly ball to left field off the bat of Talbot. Strikeout of Letson. Would like to get out of this inning with no runs scored. Jillian Riller to the plate. Flashing bunt. They pull back. Taking third base. This ball's thrown into the outfield. Coming around to score. It's Talbot, and this ball soared as well, but going up to at least stop some of the bleeding is Jordan Pedersen. Able to extend her arm, but
on the steal, a little too tall. The batter was kind of in the way a little bit. Had to throw over the top of her. Threw it into left field for an unearned run, and gives Elsberry a 4-2 lead.
Now just a runner at second base. And now 2 outs. This one up and away. One and one. 4-2, Elsberry leads Louisiana. Next pitch is also high and outside, 2-1.
The fourth error of the game for Louisiana. First 3 didn't hurt them. That one cost them a run.
2-1 pitch from Chandler. This one is lined softly to the second baseman. She bobbles it, and hustling down the line, it's Reller. She's safe at first, and they throw home as Javot tried to push it. Throw was sharp from the first baseman to Priest. Good tag from Jordan Pedersen. They get out of the inning. 4-2. Elsberry was able to add one on here. We are headed to the bottom of the 5th on Eagle 102. It'll be 3, 4, 5 due up for Louisiana. DePriest, Chandler, Powell. If anybody gets on, it'll be Allie Jenkins.
Got to get that run back right here in the bottom of the 5th. Get this back to a 1-run game.
DePriest had a really good at-bat her last. She was rung up on that pitch on the outside corner, which has been consistently called now since then.
She was right on, Coke.
This one is hit sharply to the second baseman, up with it, and a bad throw gets under the glove of Javot. DePriest is safe at first base.
Yeah, Burke got a Sunday go to meet and bounce on that, had plenty of time, and just threw it wide with Javot unable to corral it. And so the error gives Louisiana a start in this 5th inning. They trail 4-2.
This one nearly hits Chandler. She inches back off the plate. It's taken for a ball. They check on the runner at first, DePriest, and she's good over there.
Chandler singled her last time up, 1 for 2 in the ball game.
This one is fouled back, out of play.
Right off the fist.
One and one. The count on Chandler. Coke gets her sign. Next pitch is hit hard down the third base line. And this ball is cut off by Staveja Hardwick in left field. She got to that rather quickly, but a single for Chandler.
Got it off the fist a little bit, but enough mustard on it to get it by Reller at third. And Louisiana got a little something cooking here with nobody out, and I'm guessing Maya Plaster's coming in to pitch. You want to make a little wager on that?
I would bet so, as she was tossing a few on the sideline over here, and it does look like they're going to change the ball out, and it looks like Koch's going to take shortstop. We'll take a quick break, be back with more softball as Maya Plaster warms up to come in this 4-2 ball game on Eagle 102.
If you call an 800 and they say we will be the local installer, they are wrong.
Contact Matthew at Sailor and Satellite Center in Bowling Green, your local authorized dealer.
Area high school sports on Eagle 102. Cellular and Satellite Center, Pike County Memorial Hospital, and Community State Bank of Missouri.
4-2 our score this afternoon as Elsberry, the Lady Indians, are at Wallace Memorial Park in Louisiana. And we've had a little bit of ruckus, which is why Katie Talbot finds her, or excuse me, Katie Koch. Kinsey Koch. How about that? There's too many K's in this lineup. Kinsey Koch finds herself at shortstop now. Maya Plaster, her cousin, will take over. It's Chandler, who had a single, and before that there was an error at second base, and so that's how DePriest got on. So runners at first and second for Louisiana to start this bottom of the fifth inning.
Yeah, we've seen this in games in the past. Koch start and Plaster come in and try and finish things up.
And it'll be Emily Powell at the plate, a senior with some experience. First pitch taken on the inside as a strike from Plaster.
Powell's got 2 hits in the ball game, and Louisiana's had two runners on 2 times in this game, and unable to score more than just 1 run as Powell takes the next pitch for a strike as well.
0-2 on Emily Powell. It's tough to come into a ball game, and it's also tough to make that adjustment with a pitcher. This one is bounced in, 1-2. So it's all about seeing what you want. As in a pitcher, you want to go into attack mode, and same thing as a hitter. You're waiting for that mistake pitch. Swung on and missed. She gets the strikeout of Emily Powell, so that'll bring Allie Jenkins in.
Strikeout number 1 for Plaster.
In her last at bat, Jenkins struck out against Kinsey Koch. Look to do some damage here with runners in first and second.
Plaster comes in humping it. She's throwing hard, humping strikes too.
This one is hit high in the air. Second baseman Burke wants it. She's under it. Stutter steps but makes the catch for out number 2.
So 2 on, nobody out. Now 2 on and 2 outs as Jenkins comes back and whispers something in Reese Womack's ear as to what she saw in that at bat.
Reese has a pair of strikeouts on the day. 1 swinging, 1 looking. This one hit down the third baseline, but foul.
That was about a foot from driving in 2 runs.
Yes, and third baseman Jillian Reller wasn't moving too quickly towards that. Would have found its way to the outfield quickly, and it would have just continued to run in that grass. This one punched towards the first baseman. Javot has had to do that a couple of times today where she slid on her knees to catch that ball. She traps it for out number 3. So after getting the first 2 on, Louisiana leaves them stranded. 4-2 our score. We're headed to the top of the 6th on Eagle 102.
of people don't take their medication as prescribed. Missing or not taking medication can your local Health Mart pharmacy, Bowling Green Pharmacy, located right on the square at 8 North Court in Bowling Green.
On every journey to the insurance company, we take pride in keeping you protected. That's why we offer discounts for good students, safe driving, and more. Trust us to look out for the road ahead. For a free insurance quote, Pike County Mutual Insurance Company on the square in Bowling Green.
Area.
0-2, the count on our batter at the plate. Is that Jillian Reller or Mackenzie Burke?
That would be Mackenzie Burke.
So Burke 0-2. This one is bounced in for ball one.
Closes the book on Kinsey Koch. She went 4 innings, gave up 7 hits, 2 runs, 2 earned runs, struck out 8, and walked 2. Louisiana's now left 8 runners on base.
The next pitch from Chandler. This one is shot right back up the middle. That's a single for Mackenzie Burke. Good piece of hitting.
First hit of the game, 1 for 2 with a walk.
That'll bring in the 9 spot, Chigola.
Chigola has reached on a fielder's choice and struck out looking way back in the first. We are in the top of the 6th.
Game's moved quick.
4-2, Elsberry on top.
Flashing bunt. This one is back to the screen. Easy strike for Chandler to get on top.
Squeezing hard on that from the corners.
Got some speed with Burke over at first. No outs and Chigola at the plate. The next pitch, she squares to bunt, and it's bunted and picked up by Allie Jenkins. Good play on the run. Gets the out at first base, and Burke will stay at second.
Reaches on a sacrifice for the first out. As you said, advances the runner back to the top of the order where trouble brews with Koch, Plaster, and Talbot.
Her last at bat, she hit a ball pretty sharply to third base. She takes a strike here.
Drop ball on that outside corner. Stay right there.
Need to work down. And the next pitch carries up and away.
Runner on second is Burke with 1 out.
Left side of the field for Louisiana, moving well. Running the threat at second base back. And good block there by Pedersen. 2-1. Chandler spins the ball, comes set, and throws the next one to Koch. 3-1.
You don't want to put another base for Plaster, who's on deck and has 2 hits, and other than a tremendous catch by Campbell, would have 3.
Holds up. That pitch was right on the border, but it's called for ball 4. Runners at first and second base.
Just the second walk of the game for Chandler. Go with 2 strikeouts.
And it looks like Coach Calvin may be making a change, and she is. It looks like Reese Womack is going to come into this ball game. We'll give her a few warm-up pitches. We'll take a quick break, come back with more softball on Eagle 102.
Insurance. Your local shelter agent will show you how to create a safe way for your family. Shelter Life Insurance Company, Columbia, Missouri.
Ask me, Ashley Jenkins, about Shelter's auto, home, and life options.
High school sports on your area sports leader, Eagle 102.
A little bit of shifting will have to be done on the infield for Louisiana. It looks like the infield may stay the same. Are they going to have to make a change in the outfield? It doesn't look like. I mean,
No,
Reese wasn't
so she was
playing.
a
Yeah.
player.
So does that make Addie Chandler done then? Today?
This designated player versus a DH and the flex player. I don't know if that puts the can't put the flex player in the lineup to hit, can it? Or does it?
I don't.
Guess we're going to find out.
I guess we'll learn. All of that stuff.
You played all this stuff
I know.
recently. I haven't played since like 1991. You were even born then.
But the thing is like we use DH in college.
Right.
So
Just flex
DP
and
is a little
DP's
bit
all new,
a little
isn't it?
bit different. Yeah. Like this is what you were doing, and my coach wasn't changing it. You didn't like it? That's too bad. So it'll be another big threat here with Plaster at the plate. She bats from the left-hand side, and as we've mentioned, she's been a threat all day. Runners at first and second base. This one lined into left field, and it's going to drop in front of Campbell. Bases will now be loaded.
Campbell couldn't decide whether she wanted to come and try and catch that or not. She's generally pretty aggressive. That one dropped in front of her. She nearly got the runner at third as Burke had to hold up to make sure the ball dropped. But now bases loaded and one out. And Katie Talbot up. She's got 2 hits in the game. She can do some damage right here for the Lady Indians. Infield in.
This one up and in to Talbot, so she'll take ball 1.
That was close.
1-0. And Womack in the circle for Louisiana as the JV team gets to warm it up on the sidelines. This one is poked through between the first and second baseman, finds the outfield grass. It's bobbled by Emily Powell. 2 runs come across to score. They toss it over to third base, throw a little bit offline. So standing up at third is Maya Plaster. So runners at the corners and 2 more runs are plated for Elsberry.
2 RBIs for Talbot.
Making our score 6-2.
And first and third now, and that'll close the book on Chandler.
Pitch on the outside corner, taken for a strike. Nice spot for Womack.
Chandler goes 6 1/3, 7 hits, 6 runs, 5 earned, 2 walks, 2 strikeouts in the game.
Next pitch, swung on and missed. Chicolo is swinging out of her shoes. She takes some good cuts.
Or Javot.
Oh, yep, you're right.
They kind of look alike, though.
They do. I think it's the braid.
Yeah, you know, when you broadcast basketball, you kind of get to where you don't look at the numbers. You look at the body style, the hair, the shoes.
This one upstairs taking second base is Talbot.
No throw from Jordan Pedersen. And so now Elsberry can blow this thing wide open with a hit.
Next pitch, taken on the outside. She's caught looking. Strikeout for Reese Womack.
On that outside corner, as you mentioned, has been there all day. And now Anna Talbot will step in with 2 outs and second and third. 2 runs across for Elsberry. They lead 6-2. We are in the 6th.
First pitch taken outside. She's really targeted that outside corner. It's been effective for 0-1.
Stay right there, right?
If it's working, you got to keep doing it. 0-1. This one is spiked into the ground. Up with it. Good throw across the diamond. Nice play by Katie Wallace. They get out of the inning 6-2. Elsberry leads Louisiana. We're headed to the bottom of the 6th on Eagle 102.
Oh, L97B. We call it the just talking form.
What about actually applying for a loan?
Oh my, well, let me pop in the donut factory. Hey, Bill, you want to pass me the big stapler?
Yeah, I'm just gonna go to People's Savings Bank.
Skip the mega banks. When you need a loan, visit People's Savings Bank. The people know and trust. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
The most complete coverage of high school sports is on Eagle 102, and it's brought to you by Mid-America Auto and Towing, the Mercantile Bank, and Pike County Mutual Insurance.
6-2 our score at Wallace Memorial Park as the Elsberry Lady Indians lead the Louisiana Lady Bulldogs. They busted open a couple of runs here over the last couple of innings, and top of the 6th inning, it was Elsberry posting 2 runs. They put up 3 in the 1st inning. They put up 1 run in the 5th inning, and then 2 in the 6th to give them that 6-2 lead.
And Louisiana needs to answer right here with Anderson, Campbell, and Reese.
First pitch taken in the dirt, backing Anderson off the plate.
And ironically enough, Coke is back on the hill.
And the next pitch from Kinsey Koch. This one is moving on that outside corner of the plate. Swinging was Anderson, 1-1.
So Plaster only pitches 2/3 of an inning.
This one fouled out of play. 1-2. And that one did hit my car.
I'm trying to tell you.
I know. I had a table to carry. Come on. 1-2. It bounced and hit my car, so it could have been worse.
It's got a big dent in the side of it.
At least it's not from me. This one is fouled off the screen, so 1-2 again.
Just tell your insurance agent you got hit by a hail in that hailstorm back in May.
You're exactly right. 1-2. Swung on and missed. Good movement pitch there from Kinsey Koch. And it's the first out of the bottom of the 6th.
So Coke comes back in and reopens the book on her. We already had her closed out. Strikeout number 9 for Kinsey.
Taken low. Not called for a strike that time.
So we mentioned both these teams play this weekend in the Louisiana tournament. Elsberry will start early. 9 o'clock game against Clark County on Saturday morning.
Bottom of the lineup, Ty Campbell at the plate. This one is grounded foul. 1-1.
The 5 seed will play at 10:30 against the 4 seed Silex. Elsberry, by the way, is the 3rd seed in that tournament. Monroe City, Northport, the top 2 seeds for Saturday. Chance of rain, though.
Let's hope it stays away.
Absolutely.
1-1 to Campbell. Make it 1-2.
Curveball. That's a nice little curveball.
Uses it for a strike and for a chase. Has good control of the pitch. 1-2. Strike 3. Gets her swinging. Another strikeout for Kinsey Koch.
Number 10 on the game.
Back to the top of the lineup for the Lady Bulldogs, it's Jalea Reese. She walked her last at bat.
0 for 2 so far.
This one popped high in the air. Third baseman wants it. Under it and making the catch is Jillian Reller. We're headed to the top of the 7th. Jim will bring it to you next on Eagle 102.
Check the latest activity on your account and view images of your checks, all from the convenience of your desktop and smartphone. So start banking on your schedule and download the People's Bank and Trust app today. People's Bank and Trust, hometown banking the way it should be. Member FDIC.
Cellular Sunlight Center is the only stop you need to make choice when it comes to satellite providers, offering DirecTV and Dish Network along with antenna installs. Now, special message from Matthew Niemeyer himself.
If you call an 800 number and they say we will be the local installer, they are wrong.
Contact Matthew at Sailor and Satellite Center in Bowling Green, your local authorized dealer.
From the classic cheesesteak and rich crab cake, a taste of Philly in Bowling Green is a fan favorite. A meal ready for you before or after the game, and game day jerseys are welcome. Open 7 days a week. A taste of Philly. Business Highway 54 West in Bowling Green.
Area high school sports on Eagle 102. Brought to you by Rod Prentice and Brenda Crawford, State Farm Agent, Husky, and Ackles Farm Market.
Cinderella book for Burke, I should say, for Elsberry. In the top of the 7th as Letson takes the first 2 pitches for the ball. And it's 2-0. Elsberry leads at 6-2. If Louisiana wants any chance at all of winning this game, they've got to keep them right where they are. Letson 0 for 3 for the game so far, and she grounds it back to the pitcher. Womack to first to DePriest. 1-3 on the putout for the first out of the inning. That'll bring up Jillian Reller.
Good job by Reese Womack to defend her position. She took her time, got her feet settled, and she was able to throw the ball safely to first base to get the out.
Reller and Burke to follow for Elsberry. 3 in the first, 1 in the second, and 2 big runs, or 1 in the fifth, I should say, and 2 big runs in the sixth for Elsberry to stretch his lead out. Louisiana with a run in the second and a run in the third as the first pitch is a strike to Reller with 1 out in the inning. Womack's come in and done a good job so far for the Lady Dogs. Next pitch is swung on and missed, strike 2.
Jillian Reller has a really open stance. Takes up majority of that batter's box.
Next pitch in the dirt, bounced up and hit the catcher Pedersen right off the face mask. The umpire will give her a chance to gather things.
She's a tough kid, and she takes a lot of balls off the chest. That one just got her on the noggin this time.
Might have hit the plate, actually bounced up.
Kind of rattles you just a little bit.
Yep. 1-2 the count on Reller. And next pitch is in the dirt as well. Evens the count at 2-2. Reller's reached on 2 errors and flew out to right. Elsberry's left 8 runners on base as well.
6-2 our score.
The next pitch is just a little low. I think it wasn't outside based on the strike zone we've had. 9 hits for Elsberry in the game, 6 runs on 9 hits, and several errors, 5 errors for Louisiana, I should say. Next pitch is in the dirt as well, and Reller draws a 1-out walk. And that'll bring in Mackenzie Burke, who's got a hit. Reached on an error and walked in this ball game. Pedersen goes out to have a word with Womack. 6-2 our score. Louisiana trails here from Wallace Memorial Park. Sun's gone down, and it is absolutely perfect to play softball. First pitch is fouled straight back over the fence, and that's going to get Maddie's car again. Nope, that gets somebody else's car.
Running towards mine, it may have to go underneath to get it.
That may have left a mark. That hit hard on somebody's nice-looking Chevy Trailblazer.
Somebody had a sunroof earlier, and it bounced really hard off the top of their sunroof, and I was like, oh, I don't know if you have a sunroof anymore.
Might want to leave that open.
It's a permanent one.
Yeah. Next pitch is a hit off the fist, slow roller, and she'll beat it out, and nobody's at third as Dinkins came across, couldn't cut it off, and the high hopper was beat out by Burke for a hit. And the runner Reller goes all the way to third. So it's first and third and 1 out for Jacola, and actually looks like we're going to have a pinch hitter.
That will be, Number 5?
Number 5 is correct. Where's your handy-dandy sheet?
Well, it doesn't have their numbers on it.
Oh, it doesn't? Oh,
It has their class on it and it didn't have their...
Oh, I've got one that's got the numbers. I just got to dig it out. I thought you had everything under control here.
I thought so, too. I was like, man.
First pitch is up and away to the hitter, which is, as I strategically find this.
Pull it out right here.
Oh, yeah, that's a little closer, isn't it? Levi always does a good job. Next pitch is grounded, slow roller. Womack will pick it up, and it'll be beat out by the batter, Lily Mound, as I finally found it. So Lily on a swinging bunt reaches on a hit, and now the bases are loaded, and we're back to the top of the order to Koch and Plaster with 1 out.
Womack did all she could. She was hoping to keep that runner at third base. She turned around, almost did a full circle to throw to first base. I think if you shift your feet a little bit differently, you have a little bit more time to make that throw. It was a good, accurate throw. It was just not on time.
So bases loaded, 1 out. Kinsey Koch, who's hit the ball hard every time with a walk, has nothing to show for it. Next pitch is right down the middle, evens the count at 1-1. 1 out in the inning. So runners are full. The bags are full of runners, I should say. It's Reller at third, Burke at second, and Mound at first. Womack on the hill for the Dogs. Next pitch is fouled over the first base dugout. And that one eluded any vehicles, amazingly. So it's 1-2 on Talbot. Strikeout would be good here, or a pop-up on the infield. Anything in the air or a K saves a run. And the next pitch up and away evens the count at 2-2. Infielders are in.
Off the line, which we've seen a lot of pull from Koch. Probably not the best idea.
So may come to home on a ground ball. The 2-2 pitch is fouled down the right field line and out of play. And they say ball in. There has been a boatload of foul balls today. Mother.
Both sides.
Yeah. Count even at 2-2. Still just 1 out in the inning. Elsberry trying to put this away. They lead 6-2, and that one's fouled into the parking lot as well. And that one misses the cars. I don't know why people park there, because the ball goes that way. You know what everybody does in the stands? They look.
Yeah.
They look because they want to see whose car is going to get hit.
They're like, oh, no, please don't be me.
Still 2-2 on Kinsey Koch. She grounds it up the middle. Reese knocks it down and flips it to first, but she's safe.
Saying that Allie Jenkins was off the bag. She had to come up high to make that grab as it was underhand tossed and didn't want it to get away. That would have been another run scoring.
I'm going to give her a hit. That was a hard hit ball, an RBI. And the bases loaded remains.
Maya Plaster will be at the plate.
7-2 our score. In the top of the 7th. Louisiana's got to figure out a way to get out of this mess. And Maya Plaster is at the dish. She's got 3 hits and a fly ball to the gap that Campbell tracked down and saved a couple of runs. First pitch is a strike. The 0-1 on its way. And it's popped down the left field line and foul, but nobody can get to it. Stays in play.
Good hustle by Wallace and Ty Campbell. They were both crashing towards the fence to get that one.
So 2 strikes on Plaster. Still 1 out in the inning. Bases still loaded. for the Lady Indians. She swings it from the left side. Throws right, bats left. See a lot of that these days. Womack on top, 0-2. What's she going to do here? The pitch is grounded up the middle, and that's going to be a base hit. And it's bobbled by the outfielder, and a runner will, two runs will score, I should say.
Lily Mound comes across to score for
I
Elsberry.
think they would have thrown her out anyway, so a hit with a couple of RBIs for Plaster, and they've blown this game open.
Taking advantage of those base runners, and they've done a really good job about executing and getting those timely hits when they have runners in scoring position.
3 runs home makes it 9-2. And the pitch is fouled straight back by Katie Talbot, who also has 3 hits in the game. A couple RBIs earlier for her. So now you have Koch at second, Plaster at first.
Option for the force out at third base.
Still with 1 out. 0-1 count on the batter, Talbot. Next pitch is called a strike as both runners steal, no throw. So a couple of stolen bases as the Louisiana defense took a nap. I think they're shell-shocked by what's transpired here in the last 2 innings, last 3 actually.
Still got 2 more outs to get, and you have to bat.
Next pitch is grounded to third. To the plate comes Jenkins, and she's safe. So an RBI for, I guess that's not an RBI on a fielder's choice, or is it an RBI? What's the official score here say?
I would call that an RBI. That ball had a lot of hop to it.
So the
Call it an
runners
infield hit.
advance to first and third, and now we're going to have another pitching change, I believe.
It'll be Maddie Chandler once again, so
We'll
they
come
take
back
out.
in, yeah.
Yeah. Sure, not too much time for her to warm up as she's already been in this ball game, but
So Womack goes an inning, and a couple of runners are still hers. 4 runners in, 4 hits in the inning, and Chandler will come back in and see if she can stop the bleeding here. A 1-run game at 3-2 going into the top of the 5th. A 1, a 2, and a 3 in the 5th, 6th, and 7th for Elsberry, and they're still at it in the 7th, and they lead 9-2.
I don't think they've added that extra run. Kenzie Koch scored.
6.
Should be 10, shouldn't
it
it?
should be 10. Ground ball down the third baseline off the bat of Javot. She has a hit in the game with a couple of RBIs. You're right, it is 10-2. Scorekeeper slow on the trigger. Next pitch is flown to deep center. Back goes Reese. She'll make the catch. The runner will tag from third and score easily. That's Plaster. So a sacrifice fly RBI for Javot, her 3rd RBI of the game for the second out. And that'll bring in Anna Talbot, who's wearing the collar so far. 0 for 4 in this game. First pitch is up and out of the zone for a ball. As Talbot on first has a little stare down with Pedersen from behind the plate. 2 outs in the inning. 4 runs in. And this one lined off the end of the bat right back to Chandler, and she makes the catch, and that'll do it for the 7th inning, and it was a big one. They had scored 4 runs in the inning. 1, 2, 3. 4 runs on 4 hits and left a couple of runners, 1 runner on base, I should say. So as we go to the bottom of the 7th, Louisiana trails Elsberry 10-2.
Game of the Week coverage with Eagle 102 Sports, brought to you by Ackles Farm Market, Lacrosse Lumber, and Ackles Farm Market in Hartford is the place to stop for fresh fruit. You can find California strawberries, sweet cherries, peaches, and nectarines, plus Texas seedless watermelon. Ackles also has local beef, pork, and honey available. Open every day
Farm Market, just off Highway 54 between Pittsfield and Louisiana. Green Pharmacy.
Well, a rough inning for the Lady Bulldogs. Good inning for the Indians in the seventh as they score 5 runs and take a commanding lead into the bottom of the seventh as Chandler came back in the game to finish things off for Louisiana.
It'll be Wallace, DePriest, Chandler for Louisiana.
And we were going to get to see what that DP thing was all about. Now we won't, since Chandler's back in the game pitching, right? She re-entered.
We needed a lesson. Come on.
That we did. Katie Wallace has a single in the ball game as Coach evens the count at 1-1 in the bottom of the seventh. Well, it looks like the one-run game syndrome is going to end for Elsberry over Louisiana. As Louisiana, they've been up and down this year. As Wallace flies it to center, out goes the second baseman Burke. Makes a nice catch in short right center field for the first out of the inning. And Tessa DePriest will step in. She's over 2 with a walk. Koch's done a good job in the ball game. Her second stint in this game as she went 4 innings and gave up 2 runs on 2 hits and has come back in and been clean ever since.
Just needed a little bit of help earlier, and sometimes just having that time to sit down, let somebody else do the work, you can collect yourself and come back even stronger.
First pitch is a strike. Second one is lined down the right field line by DePriest, but foul off the fence. Makes it 0-2 as this airs out of the balloon here at Wallace Memorial Park. So we had a doozy of a game for 5 innings. Actually 6 innings. But it's all Elsberry since then, as they've scored 7 runs in the 6th and the 7th. 0-2 pitch is up and away. Making it 1-2 on DePriest. Chandler on deck for the Dogs. The 1-2 pitch with 1 out is up and away as well. Evens the count at 2-2. Both teams, as we mentioned, back in action on Saturday in the Louisiana tournament. Starts at 9 o'clock in the morning, goes all day. Well, final game will end up in about 7 or 7:30. So if you don't have anything to do, come out and watch some good softball. As DePriest swings and misses at the 2-2 pitch and strikes out for the second time in the game. Strikeout number 11 for Koch.
So it'll be up to Maddie Chandler to extend this ball game for Louisiana.
Chandler's got a couple of hits in the game, and she takes the first pitch up and away for a ball. 11-2 our score, 2 outs in the inning. Chandler the last hope for the Lady Bulldogs. Second pitch up and away as well. Makes it 2-0. Streak will continue. 10 of 11 for Elsberry over Louisiana. Next pitch is fouled down the third base line. Makes it 2-1. Plaster came in and got Koch out a bit of a jam. A 2-on, nobody out situation in the 5th. And that really fired up Elsberry.
Yeah, that was when the game was a little bit closer.
Sure it was. It was still 4-2 at that point. And Chandler pops it up. It's going to make it out to short center, and Talbot will come in and make the catch, and that'll do it for the ball game. The Elsberry Indians come to Louisiana and get out of here with a win. They win it 11-2. The postgame show's next on Eagle 102.
Game of the week coverage with Eagle 102. Pepsi-Cola Bottling Company is the proud sponsor of the local schools and their athletes. When it's time to quench that thirst, reach for one of the many Pepsi products found in the local concession stands, including Pepsi, Mountain Dew, Sundrop, or the all-new Starry Lemon Lime. If you are wanting something other than soda, enjoy Bubbler, Clarbrun Water, Lipton Teas, Gatorade, and more.
Pepsi-Cola Bottling Company in New Haven and Bowling Green wishes all the area athletes a great season.
With 14 stores across Missouri and Illinois, Lacrosse Lumber Company provides lumber, quality products, and service to homeowners, builders, DIYers, and more. With some of the top brand names in the business available, Lacrosse Lumber has what you need for your next project. The oldest, most reliable lumber and hardware company in the Midwest.
Granite City and Jerseyville, Illinois, a Royal Bank branch is not far away. Royal Banks bring experienced staff of products and services designed to meet your professional and personal financial needs. Investing in our community, one client at a time. Call 314-212-1500 today. Royal Banks of Missouri, member FDIC and equal opportunity lender. Area high school sports on Eagle 102. Services and Bowling Green. Podcast Food, sponsored by Family Drug in Louisiana. Time now for the Eagle 102
The Eagle 102 post-game show, and it was the Elsberry Lady Indians picking up the victory over the Louisiana Lady Bulldogs. 11-2 was our final score, but this final score shouldn't reflect how close this game was for, I would say, 6 of the last 7 innings.
Yeah, it was unfortunate that Louisiana was in the game, and then, like we said, had 2 runners on in the 5th inning, and with nobody out, Plaster came in and shut them down, and that seemed to be the lighting of the candles, if you will, for Elsberry as they scored 7 runs in the 6th and 7th inning to win this game going away at 11-2.
And I think a lot of that was, one, heads-up base running, taking those extra bases when there was no one there, and capitalizing on some of the errors and taking advantage of some pitches that were kind of left up in the zone. And so they were doing all the little things right to separate themselves from the Bulldogs.
Well, and Louisiana had 4 errors in the game, along with 2 walks. That's 6 extra outs in a game of a good team. You just can't do that. You've got to. We talked about it in the pregame. You got to play clean. You got to throw strikes. They were unable to do that today, and as a result, they lose. They dropped to 8-6 on the season. Elsberry raises their record to 8-3-1.
And so you don't see very many ties. That's an interesting stat to have in
tournaments
there.
They have you played. Tournaments have
right.
time frames that they've got to get the game in, and if it ends, it ends.
That is true. So that's how that one ended. But it was Louisiana, and they fell 11-2. We'll break this down with stats next on the postgame show on Eagle 102.
Our agency is currently looking to hire multiple positions: RNs, LPNs, CNAs, physical therapist assistants, and breastfeeding care counselor, all from full-time to part-time to contracted. Please visit our website at www.pikecountyhealth.org for more information and to apply online.
Follow area high school sports throughout the season on Eagle 102. Brought to you by Veolia Landscape Supply, Royal Banks, and a taste of Philly.
Well, it was another solid performance by Kinsey Koch of the Elsberry Lady Indians in the circle today.
She went 6 innings, 2 runs, 2 earned runs, 7 hits, struck out 10, and walked just 2. She is the winning pitcher. Maddie Chano takes the loss. For Elsberry, 11 runs on 13 hits. They had 2 errors themselves. They left 9 on base. Louisiana, 2 runs on 7 hits, 4 errors, and 8 left on base. in a game that lasted 1 hour and 51 minutes.
Both of these teams, they have the opportunity to potentially play each other this weekend in that Louisiana Lady Bulldog Invitational on Saturday. It's going to be a good day full of softball, so if you don't have any plans, make sure you come out for that. But both of these teams have kind of experienced some ups and downs, as we mentioned in the pregame show, and so it'll be interesting to see who ends up facing who and what those scores look like this weekend.
Yeah, you're right. Louisiana, should say, had won 3 in a row. Played pretty solid in those 3 games, and then tonight, Coach Calvin said it was a kind of a revenge game. Sometimes when you get that revenge thing in your mind, you put too much pressure on yourself, right?
Definitely.
And
especially when this game matters.
Right, and it did. It had conference standing implications, and tonight anyway, Louisiana wasn't able to answer the bell.
So that is it for high school softball this week. We will have some high school football on the air tomorrow night. It'll be another full lineup of games. And so, Jim, you will be over in South Callaway.
Mocaine.
Yeah.
You know where that is?
I do. It's right outside Polton. So.
Oh, that's right. You probably hung out in the Mocaine local bar, didn't you?
I did not. I was actually afraid of Mocaine. I did not like that area.
Yes, Louisiana travels to South Callaway, and we'll be there, radio and video, and Bowling Green, Mark and Chris will be. Are they on the road or are they at home?
They are on the road, so they will be at Montgomery County.
A big conference game for them. Maybe the only team on Bowling Green's schedule that could potentially push them a little bit before they get to districts.
Yeah, and so Bowling Green's going to need that. They are ranked. They were bumped up to the 5th spot in Class 2, so that ranking for this week, you can find all those rankings online at kjfmradio.com as we keep you updated there as well.
Should be a fun night of football.
It should be. So from Maddie and Jim, this is high school softball on Eagle 102. Good night, everybody.
Radio app. You can find a full recap of scores online. Broadcasting from the KJFM Radio Bar.